Hello dear student, we are from University of Malaysia Sarawak, UNIMAS. We'd like to present you an awareness video about the safety and health among the student either in workplace, your home, and also the school through this project.
Hazard identification. Hazard identification is a process to identify any danger in a place. Any kind of dangers must be identified and to be removed or avoided. Dangers can be classified into biological, chemical, physical, physiological, economical, and safety. Danger can cause injuries, infections, disease, loss of body parts, and even death. The first type is the biological. It affects human health and causes disease, infection, and death. These include harmful bacteria, virus, fungi, parasite, toxin produced by living things, as well as infected animals and plants. The second type is a physical hazard. They can cause injuries, bleeding, low oxygen, radiation poisoning, cancer, burn, electrocution, loss of hearing, sight, and even death. These include overhead objects, sharp objects, explosive, fragments, noise, strong magnetic field, high voltage, gamma and X-rays, lasers, heat, confined place, extreme cold, and sunlight. The third type is a chemical hazard. Chemical hazard can cause injuries, poisoning, skin corrosion, burns, cancer, loss of hearing and sight, and even death. These include flammable materials, poisonous substance, radioactive minerals, strong acid and base, explosive, dust, and vapor of chemicals. The fourth type is a physiological hazard. They can cause many types of disease in long term and also include trauma, physiological illness, disorientation, and even death. The fifth type is the ergonomical hazard. It is related to workplace where you use equipment and working and equipment itself which produce poor posture. They can cause neck and back pain and muscle stiffness in the long term. The last type of hazard is a safety hazard. This includes spills on floor, which can cause slipping, working at height, improper machine guarding, and equipment malfunction. PPE stands for Personal Protective Equipment. It's a protective clothing, helmet, goggles, or equipment designed to protect the wearer's body from physical, chemical, and biological harm. It mainly protects the wearer's vital organs and body parts. There are several types of PPE. Working in dangerous environments without protective gear may result in death and injuries. The first type of equipment is the head protection. The head protection protects the head and brain from falling objects, flying fragments, and projectiles. It is commonly used in construction sites, mining areas, and factories. The second type of equipment is a lung protection. It protects the lungs and windpipe from chemicals and infectious microorganisms. It is used in chemical factories, hospitals, clinics, and some mining areas. The third type is the eye protection. It protects the eye from smoke, dust, corrosive chemicals, lasers, UV, sunlight, and sharp fragments. It is used in labs and workshops. The fourth type is a hearing protection. It protects the eardrum from noise, loud noise. It is used in factories, airports, and power plants. The fifth type is the body protection. It protects the body, including feet, hands, arms, legs, and abdomen. It is used in radioactive sites, chemical labs, military, and firefighting. The last type is a high access protection. It prevents harm from heights by supporting the wearer. It is commonly seen in construction sites. Worker safety. Some places contain high electricity, which is dangerous to workers who work there. Exposure to large electricity can cause serious injuries and even death. Electrical hazards are hard to notice as it must be handled with caution. Electrical hazards. The first hazard is the overhead power lines. Overhead power lines have very high voltage which may cause serious burning and even death if not handled with caution. Approximately 3 meter distance needed to be maintained when nearby the power lines. Make sure there is no any equipment or item stored under the power line. The second hazard is using damaged tools and equipment. The tools and equipment are more likely to cause electrical shock due to their damaged parts in the equipment. Repair and operation of such equipment must be made with enough knowledge or expertise. Tools and equipment should be maintained regularly. The third type is overloading the circuit. Socket or electrical outlet should not be overloaded by connected to too many devices. Overload circuit means it is operating at overrated power level, which will result in overheating and sparks and eventually fire. The fourth type of electrical hazard is exposed wires. Exposed wires have their outer layer damaged and they expose electricity to the outside. They can cause electrical shocks and burn if a person comes in contact. The sixth type is improper grounding. Grounding is where a piece of wire is connected to the non-electrical part of an electrical device and the wire is connected to the ground. Ground wire protects the user from electricity by directing the leakage current to ground instead of the user body. Improper grounding will pose hazard to users. The last type of hazard is wet condition. Wet condition is where the place is wet and water is touching the wires or device. Water conducts electricity when voltage is high enough, which allows electrical current to flow through the water. Touching the water is equal to touching the electricity directly.
Now, I would like to tell you about the fire safety. Have you wondered that how the fire can be produced? So the fire can be ignited using three elements, which are heat, fuel, and also the oxygen. For the chemical reaction of the fire, we know this ignition process of fire as combustion. Heat is the energy required to rise the fuel temperature to ignition point. So example of the heat sources like open flame from the sun hot surface, and also the friction from the chemical action, and the last one is the electrical energy. The next one is fuel. Fuel can be any material that ignitable in gases, liquid, and also the solid form, such as solid material such as paper, liquid form such as petrol, gaseous form such as natural gas. And the last one is oxygen. As you can see, we need about 16% of oxygen in order to sustain a fire. In a normal air, it contains 21% of oxygen. But some fuel and material may contain sufficient oxygen within their makeup in order to support their burning. Besides that, we also need to consider about the class of fire. In the first one, class A fires, which is combustible material such as wood. Class B fire, flammable liquids such as gasoline. And the next one is class C fire, flammable gases such as butane gas. And the fourth one, class D fire, which is flammable metals such as aluminium. And the fifth one, class E fire, is electrical equipment such as computer. And the last one is class F fire, which is involved cooking oils in the kitchen. Therefore, in order to extinguish the fire, we need a fire extinguisher. So fire extinguisher can be categorized into many types, which are ABC powder fire extinguisher, carbon dioxide type, wet chemical fire type, water mist type, foam type, and also the last one is dry powder fire extinguisher type. Lastly, this table shows that what kind of fire can be extinguished by what kind of fire extinguisher. You can pause the video in order to look out carefully. After this, I will show you the video about how we use a fire extinguisher.
First is P for pull. Pulling the pin unlocks the operating lever and allows you to discharge the extinguisher. Next is A for aim. Make sure to aim the extinguisher nozzle or hose at the base of the fire. The first S is squeeze. Squeeze the lever. This discharges the extinguishing agent. Releasing the lever will stop the discharge. The second S is for sweep. While discharging the extinguisher, start moving towards the fire. Keep the extinguisher aimed at the base of the fire and sweep back and forth until the flames appear to be out.
Now, I will tell you about the importance of safety and health. So, have you wondered that how important the safety is? In a safe environment, we can create a productive work environment. We also can make the employee more happier, which means boost their satisfaction. And the third one, we know that a safe workplace can help to protect them from injury and also the illness. And the fourth one, we know that a safer working environment can reduce employee absenteeism. And the last one, safe work environment can enhance the brand value and also the goodwill of the company. That's all from us. Hope you guys can learn and know about the safety and health. Thank you.
Malfunction.